Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series. We'll be starting in another 15 minutes. Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 76 years of independence and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's sessions. Today, we are commemorating International Mother Language Day, which is commemorated on 21st February every year. The theme for this year, 2024, is multilingual education, a pillar of learning and intergenerational learning. Multilingual and multicultural societies thrive through the preservation of their language, which serves conduits for traditional knowledge and cultural heritage. However, linguistic diversity faces increasing threats as more languages vanish. Currently, 40% of the global population lacks access to educate in their native language, a figure that exceeds 90% in certain regions. Research underscores the benefits of using learners' native languages in education, fostering better learning outcomes, self-esteem, and critical thinking skills. This approach also supports intergenerational learning and cultural preservation. International Mother Language Day, first proclaimed by UNESCO and later adopted by the UN General Assembly, underscores the role of language in promoting inclusion and achieving sustainable development goals. Multilingual education policies highlighted in the 2024 theme, Multilingual Education, a pillar of learning and intergenerational learning, are crucial for inclusive education and preservation of indigenous languages. By starting education in the learner's mother tongue and gradually introducing other languages, barriers between home and school are bridged, facilitating effective learning. Multilingual education not only promotes inclusive societies, but also aids in preserving non-dominant minority and indigenous languages. It is a cornerstone for achieving equitable access to education and lifelong learning opportunities for all individuals. Safeguarding linguistic diversity, languages with their complex implications for identity, communication, social interaction, education, and development are of strategic importance for people and planet. Yet, due to globalization process, they are increasing under threat or disappearing altogether. When language fades, so does the world-rich tapestry of cultural diversity. Opportunities, traditions, memory, unique modes of thinking and expression, valuable resources for ensuring a better future, and are lost. Every 2 weeks, a language disappears, taking it with an entire cultural and intellectual heritage. At least 45% of the esteemed 7,000 languages spoken in the world are endangered. Only a few hundred languages have genuinely been given a place in the education system and the public domain, and less than 100 are used in the digital world. Multilingual and multicultural societies exist through their languages, which transmitted and preserve traditional knowledge and cultures in a sustainable way. International Mother Language Day is observed every year to promote linguistic and cultural diversity and multilingualism. International Mother Language Day was proclaimed by the General Conference of the United Nations Education, Scientific and Cultural Organization, in short known as UNESCO, in November 1999. The idea to celebrate International Mother Language Day was the initiative of Bangladesh. The UN General Assembly welcomed the proclamation of the day in its resolution of 2002. On 16th May 2007, the United Nations General Assembly, in its resolution 61 by 266, called upon member states to promote the preservation and protection of all languages used by peoples of the world. By same resolution, the General Assembly proclaimed 2008 as the International Year of Languages to promote unity in diversity and the international understanding through multilingualism and multiculturalism, and named the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization to serve as a lead agency for the year. Today, there is a growing awareness that languages play a vital role development in ensuring cultural diversity and intercultural dialogue, but also in strengthening cooperation and attaining quality education for all, in building inclusive knowledge and societies, preserving cultural heritage, and in mobilizing political will for applying the benefits of science and technology to sustainable development. The International Decade of Indigenous Languages from 2022 to 2032 aims to ensure indigenous peoples' right to preserve, revitalize, and promote their languages. It offers an opportunity to collaborate in the areas of policy development and stimulate a global dialogue and to take necessary measures for the usage, preservation, revitalization, and promotion of indigenous languages around the world. Let's watch a short video.
My mother language is English.
Mijn moederspraak is Elsasserditsch. Ik heb mehrere spraken.
Им Марен Лезунхайренне. Yes, Басмаласланием.
Моя родная мова белорусская. Я шматмовная.
Kang primero kong bibisaaran, Tagaligaw, Bicol. Nagabisara ako ng kadakol na bibisaaran.
My mother language is English. I'm multilingual.
زبان مادری من فارسی هست و من چند زبانه هستم.
Ma langue maternelle est le français. Je suis multilingue.
A minha língua nai é o galego.
Son multilingüe.
Anyanyelven magyar, több nyelven is beszélek.
Lugha yangu ya mama ni Kiswahili. Mimi huongea lugha nyingi.
Idioma materno ta papiamento, ita multilingual.
Limba mea maternă este româna, sunt multilingve.
Ke Motswana ke bua Setswana mme ke itse dipuo ka go farologana.
Magi mau bahasa Sinhala, mama bahu bahasa Kai.
Mojim materinským jazykom je slovenčina. Hovorím viacerými jazykmi.
Meine Muttersprache ist Schweizerdeutsch und ich rede einen Haufen andere Sprachen.
Kagulea tupua kole fatoma. Okolava o leaki anga hilea fafonue keke. Мало.
Моя рідна мова українська, я багатомовна особа.
UNESCO has consistently highlighted the role of multilingual education based on the first language, also called mother language or home language, on annual International Mother Language Day celebrations. The mismatch between home languages and the school languages has long negatively impacted education systems in all regions of the world. For decades, the exclusive use of dominant languages for instruction has been criticized as affecting the quality of teaching. It has also impaired the validity of learning assessments and more broadly impacted learners' future opportunities for education and work. As many scholars have pointed out, simply using a foreign language as a medium of instruction does not guarantee effective learning of that language. The disruption of learning during COVID-19 school closures has put a massive strain on learning. Before the pandemic, 57% of the children in low and middle income countries could not read and understand a simple story by the end of the primary school. As per World Bank et al. With UNESCO 2022. In 2022, this figure rose to 70% in some countries. Over 90% of students are not taught in a language they speak and understand, as per World Bank 2023. Poor learning outcomes may be a reflection of inadequate language of instruction policies. International Mother Language Day 2024 is an opportunity to remind the international community that multilingual education enhances learning when the language of instruction is the learner's first language. The use of learner's own language for literacy and learning provides a solid pillar for education and transfer of skills and knowledge to additional languages. Learning in one's first language facilitates understanding and interaction and further develops critical thinking. It strengthens self-confidence and self-esteem and stimulates active participation. In addition to the boosting learning, multilingual education contributes to opening the doors of intergenerational learning, the preservation of culture and intangible heritage, and revitalization of languages enriches multilingualism on the web and is essential for digital literacy. Multilingual education also helps in acquiring life skills, especially in the context of emergencies, crises, and natural disasters. Thus, refugees internally or internationally displaced people and those excluded or marginalized from quality education, such as indigenous peoples, are not left behind. The theme of the International Mother Language Day celebration 2024 is multilingual education is a pillar of learning and intergenerational learning. Today, 250 million children and young people still do not attend school, and 763 million adults do not master basic literacy skills. Mother tongue education supports learning, literacy, and acquisition of additional languages. International Mother Language Day 2024 aims to support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal 4 on inclusive quality education and lifelong learning and of the objectives of the International Decade on Indigenous Languages 2022 to 2032. The event of the day will also be an opportunity to present UNESCO policy brief on multilingualism and language diversity for inclusion in education. It is a UNESCO input to the implementation of the International Decade of Indigenous Languages and the education of indigenous peoples, among other initiatives such as UNESCO Purdue University, USA, massive open online courses on indigenous languages from policy and planning to implementation and assessment. More specifically, International Mother Language Day 2024 will highlight the need to implement a multilingual education policy and practice so that all children benefit from the quality and inclusive education and develop their cognitive and non-cognitive skills. The celebration aimed towards prioritization of multilingual education based on mother languages in different contexts, the promotion of knowledge held by the indigenous peoples within the archives of indigenous languages and through the International Decade of Indigenous Languages 2022-2032, and the understanding of the importance of language education in intercultural dialogue. Key stakeholders in education, including policymakers and teachers, non-governmental organizations, foundations, and other bodies supporting multilingualism and multilingual education and cultural and linguistic diversity. The event will include an official opening with 2 panels on multilingual education as a key component of quality learning and multilingual education as a pillar of intergenerational learning. Experts in language education, in literacy, and non-formal or informal learning and intergenerational learning, as well as indigenous languages, will make presentations and debate on the challenges and opportunities of multilingual education in multilingual contexts and in crisis and emergency situations. Today is commemorated as International Mother Language Day, as I already mentioned. This movement began as Bangla language movement in East Pakistan, now the independent country of Bangladesh. It was started to preserve the Bangla language that was widely spoken by the people of Bangladesh. This day is equally important for us to know that there are multiple languages in the world and we must strive to preserve their heritage and existence. It was an initiative in Bangladesh to celebrate International Mother Language Day. February 21st also marks the anniversary when the people of Bangladesh fought for the recognition of the Bangla language. The history of this dates back to 1947 when Pakistan was created. It encompassed two geographically separate parts known as East Pakistan and West Pakistan. These regions have strikingly different cultures and languages. In 1948, Dhirendranath Datta from East Pakistan demanded in the Constituent Assembly of Pakistan that Bangla be at least one of the national languages in addition to Urdu. There were many protests held to make this happen. However, the government of Pakistan outlawed public meetings and rallies to quell these protests. Post this, the students of University of Dhaka, along with the general public, organized massive rallies and meetings. The police even opened fire on these rallies. Much later, after Bangladesh came into existence, Rafiqul Islam's proposal was introduced in the Bangladesh parliament. A formal proposal was also made to UNESCO by the government of Bangladesh on November 17, 1999. The 30th General Assembly of UNESCO unanimously resolved that February 21 be proclaimed International Mother Language Day throughout the world to commemorate the martyrs who sacrificed their lives on this very day in 1952. Bangladeshis celebrate this day by visiting Shahid Minar, a monument built in the memory of the martyrs, and it replaces to express their deep sorrow and pay their respects. The world's most ancient language is Sanskrit and also known as Dev Bhasha. It has been observed that all European languages are inspired by Sanskrit. Some of the hardest languages to learn are Mandarin, Icelandic, Japanese, Hungarian, Korean, Arabic, Finnish, and Polish. And the Hungarian and Finnish languages have the most challenging grammar and can be difficult to grasp easily. On International Mother Language Day, sign up to learn an international language. It could be any language from Mandarin to Spanish to Hindi to French or anything, any language. There are so many languages out there that you will be surprised. On International Mother Language Day, try to speak only in your local language, at least with your family. Most of the time, we end up speaking in a neutral language and forget how to say basic words in our native language. Today is the day you can change that. You can use your skills to teach another language to a friend or family. This will also help you to brush up on your knowledge and master the language perfectly. Teach a language. Most Indian languages fall into 4 distinct groups that are Afro-Asiatic, Dravidian, Indo-Aryan, and Sino-Tibetan. There are around 7,000 languages that exist across the globe. Papua New Guinea has the most languages in the world with 840 languages. Around the world, approximately 2,400 languages are at the verge of extinction. With over 250,000 words, the English language has the most number of words. The world is made up of hundreds of cultures that speak different languages. International Mother Day promotes cultural diversity. It allows people to know the many languages in the world and provides a window into other cultures. Knowing more than one language is always an advantage. You never know when a second language may come into use. International Mother Language Day promotes multilingualism and encourages learning another language. Languages are essential for easy communication. Many languages are fading and we don't know of their existence. This day throws light on the many languages of the world and allows us to know ancient languages as well. Today is also commemorated as National Brain Free Day in US to recognize and support loved ones with dietary restrictions. Let's ditch grain and discover exciting new ways to eat for the sake. Micro people don't today. So National Grain-Free Day recognizes the support loved ones with dietary restrictions. During a meal isn't the same of them any longer. Imagine having to scam when all your friends is anything but happy. The possibility of never enjoying a meal again isn't too real. But what kind of world would it be? It's not a world we want to live in, that's for sure. So National Grain-Free Day hopes to inspire families and friends to enjoy grain-free meals together in solidarity. Sitting at the table and enjoying a meal symbolizes togetherness. But someone who cannot eat rice, wheat, or rice for medical purposes often loses the joy of sharing a meal. And who can blame them? You can't expect anyone to feel festive. National Grain-Free Day sets out to celebrate a full day of grain-free meals. It is a reminder that meal times need to be more inclusive and mindful of different dietary needs. WHO says that grain-free can't be fun. Take the time to experiment with different recipes from special appetizers to desserts. Today is also commemorated as National Sticky Bun Day in US. The delightful confection, a Philadelphia specialty, originally known as Schenken, are thought to have been brought to the United States by German settlers in the 18th century. Often served for breakfast, sticky buns are also sometimes known as cinnamon rolls, caramel rolls, or monkey bread. Today is also commemorated as Robert Gabriel Mugabe National Youth Day in Zimbabwe. Robert Gabriel Mugabe National Youth Day is celebrated every year on February 21st to commemorate the country's first prime minister, recognize youth contributors to the country's development, and encourage young people to accept good leadership values. Did you know that Robert So it is a contributions of first Prime Minister to recognize youth's contribution to the country's development and encourage young people to adopt good leadership values. Robert Gabriel Mugabe was born on February 21st, 1924 in Kutama Mission Hamlet, southern Rhodesia, to a carpenter father and a Christian Catholic mother. His revolutionary mindset was cultivated in the local Giselle mission, where he received early education under the direction of the missioner's head, Father Jerome Ohi in 1941, Mugabe received an acceptance letter for teacher training at Kutuma College. Mugabe left Kutama in 1945 after completing his teacher training and began teaching in schools throughout southern Rhodesia. He was awarded a scholarship to study the University of Fort Hare in South Africa in 1949. He was exposed to nationalist policies and Marxism. Today is also commemorated as Card Reading Day in US. Card Reading Day on February 21st is a sentimental day on which people savor the greeting cards sent to them over years. There is nothing better than going through easels of greeting cards and selecting one that will best express our feelings for another day. These cards are special and we hold on to them for sentimental reasons. In ancient Egypt, greetings were exchanged through inscriptions. This evolved by 15th century when engravings were carved on wood for occasion, like Christmas, New Year. But it wasn't until the tradition of Valentine's Day in 1400s that greeting cards truly emerged. When postage stamps were introduced in England at 1840, Valentine's Day mail increased. In 1843, the first Christmas card was designed by John Calcott Horsley. From the 1830s until Civil War, sentiment cards were popular to the United Nations. Granting cards started by getting commercially produced by the 1860s and became widespread production of greeting cards. Decreased in the 1890s and Germany became the market leader until World War II. This is when the United States became prominent once again in the greeting card industry. Hallmark cards became specially famous globally for their innovative production techniques and quality of cards. Today is also commemorated as the birth anniversary of His Majesty the King in Bhutan. The birth anniversary of His Majesty the King is a 3-day national celebration that runs from February 21 to 23. It is a celebration that marks the birth of Jigme Kesar Namgyel Wangchuk, the Drak Kalpo, or the Dragon King of the Kingdom of Bhutan, who was born on February 21st, 1980. His leadership is one of that was found favor with the people of Bhutan and many eagerly participating in festive eagerly participate in the festivities. So, Vanchak is the current Gyalpo or Dragon King of the Kingdom of Bhutan. He was born on February 12, 1980, and is the eldest son of 4th Dragon King of Bhutan. Jigme Shinge Vanchak King Namgyal ascended the throne in 2006 when his father and the 4th Dragon King abdicated the throne in his favor 2 years earlier than planned, making Wangchuck one of the youngest monarchs in the world. Wangchuck is immensely popular among the people of Bhutan and is mostly preferred to as the people's king, who has cordial interactions with the people. He is also well known and popular in India and Thailand. Before becoming king, he toured around the kingdom with his father and frequently represented Bhutan at many public events and foreign conferences, including the 27th UN General Assembly Wangchuck attended. Thailand's King's Bhumibol Adulyadej's 16th anniversary celebrations in 2006. This event cemented his popularity among the general public, particularly among ladies. The tabloids even dubbed him Prince Charming of the Himalayas. Wangchuck married his longtime girlfriend, Judson Pema, in October 2011 in a small private ceremony, a 3-day celebration in Bhutan. In April 2016, the king became a father as the couple had a son. They named him Jigme Namgyal Wangchuck, who is now the father of the throne. Bhutan and India share a special relationship as the bilateral relations between the Himalayan Kingdom of Bhutan and Republic of India, making Bhutan a protected state. Bhutan is famous for its cultural and vibrant festivals, especially the festivals known as Techu. They are ancient expressions of this Buddhist culture. Most of these festivals are dedicated to Guru Rinpoche. A foreigner can't own property in Bhutan. One may rent a house or office, but never can own land. During this celebration, many citizens eat amantas, a stew made from chili pepper and cheese, and drink either chang or ara, a distilled spirit. Bhutan is a beautiful country in the eastern Himalayas, located between China and India. Wangchuck has a sister, a brother, 4 half-sisters, and 3 half-brothers, thus having a lot of siblings. He studied in the US, in Andover, Ashburnham, Massachusetts, and Oxford. He addressed issues related to the welfare of the children at 27th UN General Assembly. In June 2002, Kesar was awarded the Red Scarf, a royal tradition, by his father. After he visited Thailand, the number of Thai tourists visiting Bhutan increased steadily. So with this, we shall conclude today's commemorations of the day. We thank each and everyone for joining on this wonderful occasion of International Mother Language Day. And the link for the International Mother Language Day quiz is also prepared and will be circulated in the WhatsApp group. You can participate in the quiz and get participation certificate. So we request everyone to be active in all the WhatsApp groups where we'll be sharing you the quiz on mother languages on the occasion of International Mother Language Day. So we request everyone to quickly fill up the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls. See you all. Take care. Good night. See you all tomorrow at the same time with the same link with different topics.